I like starting at the top. It's a nostalgia for a time when I had a different comportment. I like to start at the top. So let's start at the top. As in House Intelligence Committee, top as in Congressman Schiff. I learned a while ago that Congressman Schiff used to be a prosecutor in Southern California and that he actually prosecuted a very high profile case of a man who worked for the department of the FBI. And at some point, he was enticed into cooperation with espionage for Russia. Actually, at the time, it was the Soviet Union. That he had become sexually involved with a woman who, at some point, had been prepared to recruit other people into agreeing to commit to acts of espionage on behalf of the Soviet Union. And that he was instrumental in prosecuting the case, that this was part of his early political career and his early professional career. And so I've recently learned and accepted the judicial branch, especially if you're a prosecutor or a district attorney or a judge, is actually a branch of government. Okay, so you're a government official when you're in a prosecutorial role or when you are a judge. So his first government service was as a prosecutor in this regard that I understand, and that he successfully prosecuted a case for espionage on behalf of the Soviet Union. And I later learned about a little bit about his career as a congressperson, including some very important infrastructure investments that happened in his district that were connected to the work he had done while he was in the legislative branch. And one of those was a particular transportation line and the development and some substantial investments in that transportation line. It's called the Gold Line. And California, they call it it's the Golden State, the 49ers, the history of the gold rush. The element gold has a very specific significance to California. And so a gold line, especially when you're talking about public transit, must have a very intense significance for that area of the country and for people that know about very important assets in California, including infrastructure assets. So I just bring this up because we've spent the last 3 years engrossed in a national binge on exhuming what was, for quite some time, a dormant fascination with the sexualities of those affiliated with the former Soviet Union. Let's make no mistake about it. That's a large part of what these allegations of Russian spying and Russian hacking are. That enticement into a sexual contract that occurs with the actual engagement into an act of sexuality as a means of confirmation, especially if you're married or especially if it is some sort of illicit act. Is one of the most common means by which people are recruited into engaging in espionage and engaged in acts of sabotage, especially if they're in national security. As a matter of fact, one of the justifications that used to be had for why people who were gay were not allowed to be in a national security role is for fear that they would be enticed or extorted into engaging in some sort of sex act that could then be used to blackmail them. Apparently, somebody's knocking at the door. You must be very interested.